Hello, my name is Chris and I'm a U-Haul hitch professional. Installing a hitch on your Honda CR-V can lead to some amazing adventures, such as biking, camping, or road trips to your favorite destination. You can even tow a U-Haul trailer just about anywhere in North America. Now let's take a look at how we completed this Adventure Series hitch installation. You will need the following tools or supplies to complete this installation. You can now lower the underbody panel. There are 6 fasteners. One is a 10mm fastener. The other 5 are trim clips you can remove with a screwdriver or trim panel tool. You can now remove the underbody panel and set it aside. Remove the mud guard from behind each wheel. There are 3 fasteners. One underneath is a push pin. The other 2 can be removed with a Phillips head bit. You can now set the mud guard aside for later. We need to remove this mud guard, so we're going to protect our body lines with some masking tape so no scratches are incurred from any tabs underneath. Underneath the mud guard, you will find one Phillips head fastener that you also need to remove. Pull the wheel trim to remove the 7 retaining tabs along the way. Remove this fastener with a Phillips head bit. Also remove this trim clip. Now repeat for the other side. There are 4 fasteners underneath the cargo hatch that you must remove, 2 on either side. You will use a number 5 hex bit or Allen wrench to remove them. The bumper fascia is now ready to be removed. We would recommend getting a second set of hands or a bumper stand to support it. You can now peel the fascia away from the vehicle, work one side to the center, and then repeat on the other side. Do note that some models will have an electrical connector that will connect to the bumper somewhere in this area. This is why you need the stand or a second set of hands to ensure this connector is removed before setting the bumper aside. You are now ready to remove the aluminum bumper beam. The hitch is going to replace it. We only need to remove 3 fasteners per side, 2 down here and 1 all the way back. Ignore the other 3 sets of hardware. They are holding it back to a bracket. Now repeat for the other side. Now remove the bumper beam and return it with the hardware to the vehicle owner. Next up, we will remove a section of metal. Begin by using a 1/4 inch drill bit to drill out the dimples. You can now use an air saw to connect the dots. Use a magnet tool to retrieve this piece, or use a pair of needle nose pliers. Do not touch it, it's going to be a little hot. There are now some sharp edges we can address. Use a traditional metal file or a die grinder if you have it to smooth these out. Now apply some rust prevention to the bare metal surfaces. I like using a cold galvanizing compound. My Hitch Pros, you can order this in the EPC from the number below. Now repeat for the other side. Allow the compound to dry before moving forward with any additional steps. Next up, you will want to temporarily lower the exhaust to gain access to the bolting locations, but first, support it with a strap. Now use your exhaust hanger pliers to remove 2 rubber isolators. Use soapy water to assist if needed. Now install the hitch frame stays. This is the driver's side. You will see the bracket is to the outside of the vehicle. Now for the hardware for each frame stay, there is a frame strap, 2 M10 bolts, and flat washers. Leave all hardware loose until all hardware has been seated. Now install 3 M8 bolts with M8 washers. You can now place the other frame stay into position, but don't add hardware yet. We're going to raise the cross tube in between and then come back to the hardware. Now place your second frame stay into position without hardware so we can raise the cross tube into position. I will be using this U-Haul exclusive hitch jack to raise the cross tube. If you do not have one, I would recommend getting a second set of hands because someone needs to hold this while we get the rest of the hardware in place. Start first by lining up the semi-bolted inside. Now let's loosely install the hardware for the frame stay. Our 3 M8s in front. We're now ready to install the M10 bolts and the strap underneath the frame rail. You may find, like I have, that it's just not quite there. And so we're gonna go ahead and tighten down our 3 M8 bolts. Use a 13mm socket to tighten them. And if you prefer, go ahead and use your torque wrench to make sure you do not go over the setting. We will go ahead and link those in the description below. So as you can see, I'm still having a hard time getting this bolt in, so I'm going to use a tool gently to make sure it is not cross-threaded and that it's just too much torque for my fingers. I'm going to use a 16mm socket to do so. With every turn of the wrench, I make sure it doesn't feel like it's getting too tight or that it's going to bind up. We can now install the 6 M12 bolts and 2 washers per bolt, so there will be 1 washer on either side of the hitch. Now repeat for the other side. Now, fully tighten and torque all the hitch hardware present. We'll start with our M8 bolts. Again, this is a 13mm socket. If you didn't torque the other side or have to do what I did, please remember to torque that side as well. This inside bolt on our frame stay is very close, and while you can get the meat of the socket on the bolt, I would suggest using a crow's foot if you have one. When using a crow's foot, always bring your wrench and crow's foot back to 90 degrees to test the torque click once again. For my own peace of mind, I mark bolts after I torque them. Now switch to your M10 bolts under the frame, switch to a 16mm socket, and remember to switch your wrench to this new torque value. Again, they will be linked in the description below. For your M12 hardware, you will now switch to an 18mm socket, and you will need an additional 18mm wrench to hold the nut. You must now address the proper amount of spacers between the hitch and the tow loop. There are 4 thick spacers. You will need to use 2 on each side. The driver's side of the hitch and tow loop setup is wider, so you will likely use a 3rd spacer, which is this second size, And as well, there are 3 more of the smaller size. Every vehicle and hitch weldment may be slightly different due to the fabrication process. That's why there is varied spacers. It will be up to you to install the proper amount of spacers between the toe loop and the hitch to ensure there is no play, so that we can finally pass the bolt and washer through. Flat side up. As you can see, fits perfectly for me. I do not need any more spacers on the passenger side. When adding additional thinner spacers, keep them to the outside of the vehicle. Use a long screwdriver to help you pry them into a good position to allow the bolt through. Use a flathead screwdriver and a rubber mallet to assist with this difficult process. Now, install the flange nut and tighten and torque this hardware using 2 18mm tools. If you plan to install wiring on the vehicle, now is a good time to do that as well. The grommet to get your 4-flat connector out is right here behind the hitch, so this will be easier with the bumper off. I will go ahead and link the video up above, and then we'll move forward. You can now make a trim to your bumper fascia. This is 3.5 inches wide on the center line, and it is 2.5 inches deep into the fascia. Use your cutting tool of choice, your method of choice, to cut out this area. If you'd like rounded corners, use a drill bit in the corner to round them out. Use your larger bit to judge where the rounded edge will be, and then drill a smaller pilot hole so as not to mess up the corner. This tab will no longer be used. You can cut the whole thing off. Now use a metal file to clean up any non-straight edges or deal with any frayed plastic. You can now place the fascia back onto the vehicle. We would recommend getting a second set of hands. Stretch the bumper into its support structure and click it into place. Now work your way from one side to the other by pressing in the center. Listen for the clips. Pull in an upward fashion to get the second side into position. Verify the bumper is fully seated into position all the way around. And let's go ahead and reinstall the wheel trim and wheel fasteners. Now press the wheel trim and all its clips back into position. Now repeat for the other side. For the underneath and behind the wheel Phillips heads, you will need to bring the carpeted trim into position to align the J-nut for the screw. Now return the 4 fasteners under the cargo door. We can now make a modification to the underbody panel so that we can return it. We have measured out an area that is 3.5 inches on center and 3 inches deep into the bumper. Go ahead and use our previous piece of plastic as a nice template. Now slide the underbody panel back into position. Make sure the underbody panel goes between the vehicle body stud and the vehicle fascia. Now return your push pins. You're now ready to raise your exhaust into position. You're now ready to install your U-Haul exclusive Hitch Hush using the provided hardware. The Hitch Hush hardware has conical tooth washers that you will place opposing each other to create a space, not like this. That is incorrect. That is correct. You can now tighten them down with an Allen head bit, and number 5 or a 3/16 will do. Tighten them snugly, but do not over tighten. Our Hitch Hush does come with 9 additional silencers for the varied sizes of ball mounts and accessories that are out there. Let's take a look at how we can swap one of these out real quick. Use a small flathead screwdriver to pry the existing silencer out of position. It does come pre-installed with the number 0 silencer. You can go up or down as needed. Let's go ahead and put the 0 back in. Place it into position and simply open the Hitch Hush to reseat the silencer. Now that the hitch is installed, we've pulled the vehicle onto level ground to show you some important measurements. This is a 2-inch hitch receiver. From the pinhole to the end of the Hitch Hush is 3.5 inches. From the ground to the top of the inside of the receiver is 14.5 inches. These measurements will help you determine the necessary length, rise, or drop of your hitch accessories, like a ball mount, bike rack, or cargo carrier. If you have any questions about the products seen in this video, or if you'd like to schedule an installation with your local U-Haul hitch professional, please visit us online at uhaulhitches.com. You can also download the U-Haul app using the link in the description for even more ways to manage your hitch and towing needs.